Happy Monday. It is Monday. Happy Monday. I hope you're having a great day today. It is February 1st. It's the first day of February. We've got a new page on our calendar here. Let's look at our calendar. Today is the 1st. So it says Monday and it's February 1st. And right down here we have more information. It says February 2021. Yeah, so it's the first day of February and it is cold outside today. Yeah, we got snow last night here. I found a great book on rivers and I wanted to share that with you today. Right here we see the otter and everything and the river. Let's learn more about this. It says, what is a river? Rivers are bodies of fresh water that flow to the sea. They can be very different from each other. Some rivers flow quickly and others move slowly. Some rivers are narrow streams. Others are so wide that you cannot see from one side to the other. A river may be all of these things at different places along the same route. Look at that river and we see kayakers right there. Rivers are home for animals and plants. They are important to people too. We travel on them, we build towns on their banks, and we take fish from them for food. We use river water for all sorts of things. In this book, you will find out about how rivers change as they flow to the sea, and about how powerful they can be when they flood the land. Okay, so this is one of the birds that lives by a river, and right down here, yeah, we see a river right there too. The flowing river. The place where a river starts is called its source. From the source, a river flows downhill on its journey to the sea. The path the river takes is called its course. Okay, right down here, we've got see that picture right there? And see right here, all the way back there would be the source of the river. And it flows downhill all the way to the ocean. There's the sea right there. The water cycle. The water on our planet is constantly being recycled. It is always moving between the sea, the air, and the land. This movement is called the water cycle, and rivers are an important part of it. Right down here we see the water cycle. Yeah, see the clouds coming up and then they produce rain and the rain falls and it collects in these creeks and these creeks flow into rivers and the river flows back into the ocean. Shaping the land. Rivers follow the shape of the land, but they can also change it. Moving water is very powerful. As a river flows over the land, it picks up stones and even boulders. These roll along with the water. They carve the riverbed and chip away at the banks, making the river deeper and wider. This carving and chipping is called erosion. Ooh, look at this river right here. Ooh, see all the rocks and boulders? Sometimes it is land that changes a river. When a river flows over a cliff, it becomes a waterfall. On limestone hills, rainwater soaks down through the rock. The water drains into underground rivers, which carve out tunnels and caves. Okay, right up here we see the waterfall there. Isn't that beautiful? And down here, yeah, we see the Grand Canyon. See how the water, that's the Colorado River, and it's chipped away at the Grand Canyon. Isn't that beautiful? River plants. Rivers are good habitats for plants because the plants need water to grow. Trees that grow alongside rivers have long roots that grip the soil. This helps hold the riverbank together and stops it from being washed away. When rivers flow very slowly, some plants grow mostly under the surface of the water. Other plants, such as reeds, have their source under the water, but their leaves grow up into the air above. Wow, look at that river. Isn't that beautiful? Giant water lilies have underwater roots. Their huge leaves float on top of the surface and can be up to 6.5 feet wide. Other plants are also important to the life of a river. Their leaves give off a gas called oxygen, which fish and other river life need to breathe. Plants also provide food for animals and safe places to nest or hide. So right down here we see, yeah, see how they're hiding? And up here, wow, look at those. They're sitting on top of the river. River animals. Rivers are good habitats for animals. They are home to many kinds of fish and amphibians, such as frogs and newts. In warm climates, there are reptiles such as turtles, crocodiles, and snakes. Smaller creatures such as snails, shrimp, beetles, and worms also live in and around rivers. Many insects, such as dragonflies, live in the water for the first stage of their life. Later, they change into adults and leave the water for a life in the air. The riverbank is home to many mammals and birds. Mouse-like water voles nest in holes in the banks. Water birds nibble plants. Other birds hunt for fish. Wow, look at everything living right around the river here. See, we've got frogs and fish and ducks and insects here. Yeah, isn't that cool? Rivers and people. People have always lived next to rivers. Many of the world's oldest and most important cities were built on riverbanks. Cairo is on the Nile River. Rome is on the Tiber River. London is on the Thames River. Riverside towns and cities have a lot of bridges so people can cross the water. In New York City, a famous bridge called the Brooklyn Bridge links two major parts of the city, Manhattan and Brooklyn, to one another. The bridge runs across the East River. Ooh, look at that bridge. See how it's covering the river there? Yeah. Some rivers have a special meaning for people. The Ganges River in India is sacred to the Hindus, who believe that it washes away their sins. During certain festivals, millions of pilgrims travel to the Ganges to bathe in the water. And I grew up right next to a river, the Ohio River. Using river water. We use river water in many different ways. In our homes, we use it for drinking, washing, and flushing the toilet, and watering plants. Factories use huge amounts of river water. They use it to make things and cool down machinery when it gets too hot. Some farmers take water directly from the river and give it to their animals to drink. They also use it to water their crops. The demand for water is growing and rivers are in danger. When we take too much water from them, fewer plants and animals can live in and around rivers. This affects other animals and people who rely on them for food. Rivers and floods. When a river is very full, it overflows and floods the land. This happens when snow melts quickly or heavy rain falls suddenly. The river cannot hold all of the water, so it overflows its banks. Oh my goodness, see down here how the river is overflowed? See how the water's all around the houses there and everything? Some rivers flood every year. This can be useful for farmers in India, China, Thailand, and many other countries. Rice farmers frequently rely on rivers to flood their rice crop. The water keeps the rice plants cool and controls the weeds and pests. Unexpected floods are dangerous. They destroy buildings and crops. People and animals may drown. In many parts of the world, people try to prevent flood damage. They build barriers such as dams and dikes that hold back the water. It says dams and water power. A dam is a huge and very strong wall. Dams do more than just hold back river water when it rises. Dams also control the flood of water in other ways. When a dam is built across a river, it stops the water from flowing downstream. A big lake called a reservoir fills in behind the dam. Water is stored in a reservoir, so there is always water for local people to use. See right there, that's the Hoover Dam. See right here, it holds back the water so that flooding doesn't happen lower on down the river. Yeah. The stored water can also be used to make electricity. When water is released through tunnels in a dam, the force of the water turns machines called turbines. These drive generators that make electricity. A quarter of the world's electricity is made from water power. Let's look at how this works. So here's the reservoir right behind the dam. And when they release the water in the reservoir slowly, it turns the turbines, creating electricity. River transportation. The longest rivers flow through several countries. Many rivers have been used for a long time to transport people. Rivers also transport useful goods. The Rhine River passes through 6 countries as it flows towards the North Sea. Huge barges like the one above move up and down the river to factories along its banks. They supply the factories with materials such as steel and coal and collect and carry their goods to ports. Okay, yeah, we see the ship right there carrying the goods. Riverboats come in many shapes and sizes. Small ferries carry people across the river. In cities, tourists board sightseeing boats to get a good view of the sights. Giant cruise ships are like hotels. They carry people along the river for a few days at a time. Wow, look at that cruise ship right there. How much fun. Wow. Enjoying the river. Many rivers are beautiful places where people can relax and have fun. In places where the water flows slowly, people can enjoy swimming or boating. In places where the river flows swiftly, kayaking is a popular river sport. Ooh, look at her kayaking. On warm days, a river's leafy banks are a good place for a stroll or a picnic. You might spot some small animals along the banks of the river. Many people enjoy fishing in rivers. Many people catch fish for sport, not food. They catch a fish and then quickly free it from the hook to return it to the water. Oh wow, and see him fishing right there? Taking care of rivers. Rivers are easily polluted. Factories pour waste into them that contains harmful chemicals. They also pump warm water into the rivers that has been used to cool machinery. The warm water is low in oxygen. Both these actions can harm river life. Farmers use chemicals called fertilizers to help their crops grow. The fertilizers can also wind up in rivers when it rains. This can cause water plants to grow very fast and upset the balance of the river. Rivers are very important. They are habitats for wildlife. They provide us with the water we need, and they are beautiful places. Let's keep them clean and healthy. The end. That was a great book, and that was called Rivers. I love rivers. And like I said, I grew up right next to the Ohio River, and I used to love watching it rise and fall, and it was awesome. So, well, I hope you have a great day today, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye, friends.